Hi, thanks for watching a new video blog. Today from Buenos Aires in Argentina.
Argentina, Argentina, tierra del sol, pero las flores están secas, los campos son desiertos. ¿Por qué estás muriendo? ¿Por qué estás muriendo? Despierta Argentina, lucha por sobrevivir. No te quedes quieto, prospera Argentina. Despierta, despierta Argentina, lucha por sobrevivir. ¿Por qué estás muriendo?
The life of a hunter-gatherer or a nomad with animals. Still, for many people, this seems to be something impossible and very difficult. They think that all the people before them that lived as a nomad with animals or as a hunter-gatherer, they had a super difficult times. It was very hard and they barely got any food and they were starving all the time and it was dangerous. And I'm sorry to say, but these people have literally no clue about nature. They didn't spend 1 minute in nature. Because if you would spend a longer time in nature, then you would see it's not that difficult. You can see that it's perfectly adjustable to the human nature, that it fits like a puzzle perfectly. I can say something about it because I lived in nature for a few months. I spent time in a forest with a tent and I was living there. Same place, same spot in the forest. And I, after a few weeks, start to understand the forest. I started to understand, hey, every morning this rabbit will come out of his hole and he will make a walk. And there's always at this time a bird that starts to chirp, to sing, to chirp. I start to see, hey, this place has some fruits, some chestnuts, sweet chestnuts that you can eat. Or when there's rain, you have to do this and that. And all these things that you start to learn. You start to see where the animals live. You start to see where the plants grow. It really becomes like knowing a city or a street. For example, I am now here for the second time in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. And in my mind, I start to recognize places, I start to remember, and I know, oh yeah, if I go this way, I find my way in the city. Let's say that way. I know how to survive in this place. The same was in the forest. I knew that, oh, at this time, some wild pigs come out. I better be not there. Or at night, I would notice always the same animals crawling around my tent. And in the morning, I could see that they've been there. That they urinated there. Or they ate some plants. It's not really not that difficult. You already start in a few weeks to understand the surroundings in nature. The place where you are. So let alone that you grew up there with your tribe. You would know the place like from the inside out. And this is also what you can see if you see documentaries about, for example, indigenous people in the Amazon. They know without hesitating to find their way back. Even if they're 2 hours away from their spot in the forest, they know to find the path back to their place. It's really not that difficult for them because they grew up there. You just adapt to the environment. You adapt better than in civilization. because I know a little bit my way here in the city of Buenos Aires, but it also doesn't make sense many times. It's not that easy as I find myself my way in the forest. It was way easier. The forest is more predictable than you think. Nature is more predictable than you think. We need that as well. It's very important for humans to have nature to be predictable, because in that way you can hunt an animal, you can find food. You know, oh yeah, the sun is at this height in the year. I know that soon there will be sweet chestnuts, so I don't have to worry. Or there will be blackberries, or I can hunt fish now at the best moment, because this is the moment where there's an abundance of fish, where they come to the stream. Or the animals, where you know, okay, the animals have now bred new rabbits, and there's so many of them, so it's easy to catch them. It's super, super easy. And I was even in a very small forest surrounded by agriculture, so cultivated land. Let alone if I was in a pure, untouched, uncivilized side of the country where no civilization has destroyed the surroundings. It will be even easier and better to find your way and to survive. Also, some people think that hunting is very difficult. They're like, oh, it's so difficult. Oh, they must have suffered so much hunger. Whilst for a hunter that grew up hunting, super easy. You know, with their little bow and arrow, to shoot a monkey or a rabbit or a wild pig from a long distance on the perfect right spot. They know their movements, they understand everything. So it's really not that hard, and you will adapt. You can learn this as well. When you will spend time in nature that long, you will adapt. It's that easy. People adapt. They copy behavior. It's not that difficult. Children want to learn. They see their father hunt. They see their mothers gather, cook, maybe. I don't think they cook really nature, but okay, you got my point. That is how it is in nature. It's not hard. Civilization is hard. To even exist, you need to go to some other place. Maybe you get fired one day, you don't have any solid ground anymore, you maybe have to leave your apartment. Everything is unsure, uncertain in civilization, not in nature. Nature is easy. Hunting takes you an hour. Bam, shoot the monkey, shoot the wild pig, shoot the rabbit, shoot the deer, come back home, drink the blood, eat the liver, be happy, dry some parts maybe over the fire. Super easy. Enjoy life. If you need to drink, there's maybe some coconuts or some water. Super easy. So the whole idea that civilization is so much comfortable and it's so hard in nature, totally the opposite. Life is hard in civilization, where you first need to go to school or whatever that is, to get a degree, whatever that is, to do a job, whatever that is. Changes over time constantly. Can never rely on it. It's unsure. And in nature, everything is crystal clear. Everything is timed. Everything follow the plan. There's a plan. There's a schedule. That always works. Always comes back. It always becomes summer when there's fruit. It always becomes autumn when there's other fruits. It always is winter, where you can enjoy the meats and fish that you dried, or hunt other animals that are easier to catch in winter. Then there's springtime, new animals being born everywhere. Some fruit maybe already, summer, lots of fruit, many animals to hunt. It's just super simple. Some countries even don't have the seasons. They only have 2 seasons, the rain season and the not rain season. And there you have it even easier than the people with the seasons, because they are really in the best spot on earth, because everything follows plan. Every day is the same, and every day they can find food in an abundance. And it's easy for them to catch them. They grow up with it. They don't have to worry about the harvest every year. Oh, the harvest. Oh, maybe we don't have a good harvest. Oh, maybe we'll suffer hunger. Oh, maybe some other tribe comes and wants to steal our land, our agricultural farmlands. Oh, maybe this, maybe that. Oh, maybe we need money. Oh, maybe we need to go to war because we don't have food. It's all stupidity of agriculture, all stupidity of civilization. These things are non-existent in nature. If one tribe lives in the forest, they can be in harmony with the other tribe because there's so many rabbits, there's so many fish. Do you think they go fight over some food? In nature, this is ridiculous. In nature, nobody can understand what is a war, what is a shortage of food, what is hunger. They don't know what these things are because they go in the forest, whoop, shoot an animal, take it home, eat it, and they have calories for days. They don't need to hunt every day as well. And they live a very quiet, peaceful life and a sedentary life. They don't have to run, they don't have to do all these things. So they don't burn a lot of calories. So they don't need to eat a lot. That's a great thing. They don't work, so they don't burn all their calories every time, like in civilization, where you have to walk. They don't walk. They walk sometimes in the forest. But what I'm doing now, for example, if I'm not working, but if I have to go to work, I have to walk to the subway or to my car and then take the stairs and whatever. I have to turn my energy into work. And I could see this all taking place when I was living a few months in summer in the forest. How quickly you adapt, how quickly you find your way, how quickly you start to understand that nature, a forest, is just like a street. There's animals living there and you know them after a few weeks, you know where they are and they know you're there. And it's super easy, you adapt, you can understand things. The longer you stay there, the better you become at surviving there. And the longer you stay in the forest, the better you become at surviving in the forest. That's just human nature. You adapt, super simple, nothing to worry about. It's amazing, God created nature amazing. You don't have to worry about anything. So no, we didn't have it hard tribalistically. As a nomad, as a hunter-gatherer, was the best life, super easy. And I hope to return to that life sooner than later, and I'll do my best to achieve that goal. So that was it for today. From Argentina, Buenos Aires, the civilized world. I say thank you for watching. See you next time.